All right, now they could have opened the barrier. The ghoul priest appears. It was the end of the turn. Everything is set up as it was before. And we're starting this new turn, and the first thing we need to do is add another doom. That's going to be 4 out of 7. And then each investigator gains a card. A swarm of rats fall on the professor. Dissonant voices is gone. And Nathaniel Cho, it says place 1 doom on the current agenda to advance. Fortunately, that is still not enough to carry us over 7. So we have survived the mythos phase, and now the investigators get to take some actions before that ghoul priest tears into us. So as the investigator phase begins, let's be clear with the ghoul priest. It engages the investigator with the highest combat skill. So it's going to be down here in the room, in the hallway, but engaged with Cho. So Professor Walters now just has to deal with these rats. And I think I'd like to let him get in there and talk to Lita. I don't know if I can attempt to speak with her from here. I think I have to do that from the parlor. So that means I've got to try to evade the rats. All right, we're going to attempt to dodge and you sort of tiptoe through this swarm of rats and get to the parlor. So we need to evade using agility. Agility is 2, and we need to beat a 3. So let's commit some cards. Let's commit what looks like to be a great card here. It's got an agility mark on it, so that'll be +1. And let's go ahead and commit another card. That's got a wild and an agility on it, so that's going to be a total of +3. So we have a 5. We have a 5, and we draw the skull. I think that's going to be a -1. Minus the number of ghoul enemies at your location, and the priest is there. So that would be a 4. A 4 is greater than 3, so these rats are confused by Walter's fancy footwork, and they are no longer engaged with him. For his second action, he goes into the parlor. And for his third action, he's going to attempt the parlay. He's going to attempt to talk to Lita using intellect. We're going to commit cryptic writings with its 2 intellect marks to boost Harvey's intellect not only from 5, but up to 7. We really want this to succeed. We need to beat a 4 or better. And we've drawn a -2, so that still is a 5, which is greater than 4. So I think that means we get to control Lita here. All right, so I think basically Lita here becomes an ally of Harvey Walters. He has persuaded her to join their party, and she's going to come down into his area. Well, evading the rats, moving, and then doing the parlay action. I think he is spent for the round, so we need to go with Cho, who's dealing with the ghoul priest. So this ghoul priest has retaliate. And what is retaliate exactly? It appears from the book here that retaliate means that if you fail a skill test while attacking, and they have this word, this keyword, the enemy will perform attack against you. So if you successfully attack the enemy, I don't think that they can retaliate. It's if you fail. Each time an investigator fails a skill test while attacking a readied enemy with the retaliate keyword. Okay, so let's not fail. All right, Cho has a combat of 5 plus 2 is 7. He's got a combat of 7. And I think we're going to go with the old 1-2 punch here as an event. Let's spend 2 resources and let's take a look at 1-2 punch. You get +1 fight for this attack. And if you succeed, you may fight that enemy again. And you get +2 to your fight and deal +1 damage. All right, so Cho is heading into this fight with 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and he needs to beat a 4. And we drew a -2. So that's going to be a 6. That is still good enough to be a success. So how much damage are we doing? All right, so when you deal damage by an event, you deal +1 damage. So that means he hit for 2. 2 damage so far on the Ghoul Priest. So 2 damage, and the card said you get to fight again. So we're going to fight again. And we get +2 to this attack. I think that means it's a 9. And we get the -2 again. It's still good enough, and we hit for +1 damage to that attack. So again, I think that's 2 more damage. So that's going to take the Ghoul Priest to 4 damage total. Well, looking at this Ghoul Priest, it's got 5 health per investigator. So this is not good. That's 10, right? So we don't quite have him down halfway. But for his second action, Cho's going to tear into him again. All right. Nathaniel is attacking with 7. And we get +1. Wow. So that is a successful attack. We hit him again. I think it is just for a single point of damage. All right, so that puts 5 on the Ghoul Priest. He's halfway down. And Cho has 1 action left. All right, Cho's last action. He's punching again. He's in the fight. Attacking with 7. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. What does that do? It says the investigator automatically fails the test. So our last swing, we left ourselves open. Cho left himself open. And the Ghoul Priest retaliates and slashes Cho with whatever nasty type of sickle or bladed monstrosity this thing is carrying. So Nathan gets cut right along the gut for 2 damage and 2 horror. So that's going to take Cho to 3 damage and 3 horror. All right, we are headed into the enemy phase. The rats were evaded, so they are exhausted right now. But the Ghoul Priest will attack Nathaniel Cho. And is there anything he can do about it, or is it just automatic more damage? I think what he's going to do is he's got some moves up his sleeve, and he's going to play dodge. Dodge fast. When an enemy attacks an investigator at your location, cancel that attack. Let me compare that to this one. After an enemy attacks you, even if that attack was canceled, this attack targets the attacking enemy. I think I might be able to play both of these. So I'm going to spend a resource and dodge to cancel the attack. And then I'm going to play counterpunch. It was canceled, but this attack targets the attacking enemy. We're gonna punch him back. Come on, Nathaniel. Come on. We get the Elder Sign. What does that do? If this skill test is successful during an attack, return an event from your discard pile to your hand. Well, we punched him back. That was a fight ability on an event card, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And that's going to hit for +1 damage. No, we already did that once this round. All right, so just a single point of damage on the Ghoul Priest. But we get to take something back into our hand. Well, you may have guessed it. We're pulling out the 1-2 punch that goes back into our hand. So the enemy phase is over. We get to reset our investigators. So both investigators are ready. We ready all exhausted allies and exhausted enemies. So the rats are now ready to engage, and Nathan is the only one there. So these guys are going to join the Ghoul Priest in attacking Nathan. That is bad news for him. All right, so what else happens? Each investigator draws a card. Harvey Walters gets the drawings, and Cho gets glory. And they each get 1 resource. Let me check hand size here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Harvey Walters is fine. I think that's going to bring it to an end of a very exciting round. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 damage on the Ghoul Priest out of 10. And Nathaniel is a third of the way down in health and half the way there toward insanity. So he is suffering. Let's see what happens next round.